So let's go to tier 3.
Yeah.
Because other teams improved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in tier 3. So we have encompassed all 32 NFL. No, that's not true. Let's start with the Bills, because you like what the Bills did, and we'll start with Laskeezy that says, Eagles is the chalk answer for best draft.
Right.
But as a member of Bills Mafia, we got the best tight end of the draft and got a wildly projected first-rounder, Osiris Torrance, in late second round. That is a win. So Dalton Kincaid is the tight end he's talking about out of Utah. Everyone seemed to like him. You loved him.
Yep.
Little bit of a back issue,
Yep.
which is why he may have fallen.
Exactly right.
But the Bills got a weapon, something you've said they needed to do, and they got a guard in Torrance out of Florida to help protect Josh Allen.
Definitely. I think they're both instant contributors. That's the biggest thing. And they saw that run of receivers, and they went, oh, shit, weapons are coming off the board. This is the last weapon to have in the first round. And they went and got the tight end.
Is he more than a tight end in a pass-catching sense, like slot situations?
Oh, he's like elite top-tier route runner. He's, he's Travis Kelce running routes. Yeah, that's where he's special. Again, I know there's teams that top 10 pick had him on before the medicals. He's a top 10 player, right? He's definitely a top 15 player for me. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, that's where he is really special that way. So good job by them. Good job by them knowing that the Dallas Cowboys were probably going to take the tight end. And by all due accounts, listening to the Cowboys and some of their press conferences, they were taking Dalton Kincaid, and they got passed up.
I mean, that look into the draft room.
They didn't know what to do.
They were scrambling.
They were. I mean, we were sitting there going, they are literally having a conversation about who we should draft at 26 live on TV right here. They were like, there must have been 2 or 3 guys, and they were having a conversation about it right there.
Which at that point, shouldn't you, when you're one pick away, shouldn't you have 2 guys? Just in case.
Well,
just in case.
I
You're
think
like, we got 2 guys.
what happens sometimes is you start to go, they probably did have 2 guys. And they probably, at times, again, this is where this draft was crazy, is they probably went, wait, we got 5 guys here. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden a run happens or something happens. And all of a sudden they go, holy shit, the draft changed. Or somebody traded. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, our guys that we just were like, we're okay if he's gone and he's gone, and we're down to nobody. We got to come up with the next group here. And that's what can happen with the draft sometimes. And again, especially in a draft without big-time high-end talent, to where you can't just sit there and go, oh, okay, we missed him. There's 6 or 7 other guys here that we have needs and that'll fit and whatever else. So, yeah, that threw them a curveball.
Yeah.
Osiris Torrance, yeah, I loved him at guard. And there was the Rams, I think, took the kid from TCU at the top of the second at guard. I thought that I was kind of surprised by that, because I would have taken Osiris Torrance. But then the other aspect of this, too, that I like is the 3rd pick in Dorian Williams. Dorian Williams is ready to play middle linebacker right now. And they, of course, need somebody because of Terrell Edmonds leaving town. So that was another guy I looked at, and that's why I put them in this tier here, just to go, wait, they got 3 guys that can play right away and help their football team instantaneously.
Spoiler alert, you do not have the Cowboys as one of your good drafts, although
it wasn't bad. It just didn't kill it.
To continue that conversation on maybe getting scooped, they did take Mozzie.
Yes, they did.
Mozzie Smith out of Michigan, the defensive tackle. And apparently I read somewhere that was the guy that Micah Parsons texted Dan Quinn. I don't know if that's fake news, but that's a rumor out there that Micah Parsons was big on getting a guy like that, which would make sense.
They do. They needed somebody at that position. They're in a division with the Eagles and the Giants and Washington, who all like to run the football. So you're never wrong going with the biggest in the draft to lock down the middle of your defense, and that was fine there. It was a good pick.
Yeah, Mike is like, can you occupy some of these guys around here?
And then they got their tight end in the 2nd round, and Luke Schoonmaker from Michigan, too. So they got 2 Michigan guys right off the bat, followed by a Texas guy. It was our kind of draft for the Cowboys.
We got another team we got to add to the conversation of good drafts, tier 3, and that is the Chicago Bears. McGrady Dick says Bears.
McGrady Dick. Wow, that's a good name there.
I was just going to keep going.
Well, I wasn't.
Be Richard. Bears had one of the best drafts, and no one is talking about it. So you guys should be the first. They had the most one-score games last year, and they added an insane amount of pieces to every single aspect of their team. Ryan Poles has changed the franchise. So the first pick, they took Darnell Wright, the tackle out of Tennessee, who was your number 1 tackle. Yep. Their second pick, they took Gervon Dexter, a defensive tackle out of Florida.
Right. So, wasn't my favorite guy, but athletic, big D tackle, who's again, this is where he's not my favorite, but he fits what they want to do, which is just shoot the gap, right? This is a little of the 4-3 scheme, Seattle rooted in the Seattle scheme. Yeah. They just want gap shooters, go through the gap, and that's what he's made for. And then you get into the third round with Tyreek Stevenson, the corner there.
Corner out of Miami.
Right. Long, physical, right? One of the issues was top-end speed. Oh, okay, great. He's not great at man-to-man. Oh, all right, you're the Bears. They like to play a lot of the press bail and the zone coverages, so he fits there. Zach Pickens, a big 5 technique defensive tackle.
You liked him.
I did like him, right? He was one of my honorable mention interior guys, right?
And you also liked the running back they got next.
Then they got Roschon Johnson, who, yes, I mean, he could be their starting running back. You know, he's 220. He can make people miss. He can run you over. I mean, he's really damn good. You know, so I like that. And then to add to it, get a little Tyler Scott out of Cincinnati that'll round out their wide receiver room. Noah Sewell, take a shot at a guy that's got some instincts playing middle linebacker from Oregon. And I like Terrell Smith from Minnesota. I thought he is another guy, a corner, a lot like the guy we just talked to out of Miami, who I honestly think this kid had a little bit better man-to-man skills than the kid from Miami. But again, the same mold, bigger, can run, will get back, ball skills, all that. So it made sense for how they want to play. That's where I like Chicago's draft.
The NFC North has been a little bit of a laughingstock here lately with the Packers running away with the division.
Yeah.
The Vikings kind of did it last year. I think it could be one of the toughest divisions in football this year.
It's trending in that way.
I mean, Minnesota won 13 games last year.
That's right.
The Lions are favored to win the division this year.
The Packers are good.
I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff.
No,
and I think the Bears
Lions
would be better.
I hear you. We have some good divisions out there right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to say they'll be the one, but I'm with you in the fact that where people think this is just like some bullcrap division, I start to go, no, it's changing here right in front of our eyes. And like you said, the Vikings are really good. And there's a part of me that could sit here and argue and go, the Packers and the Lions actually have better rosters than they do. So that's where it's intriguing.
Yeah. To your point, there are a lot of good divisions out there. The AFC North is another good division. The Bengals won it last year with 12 wins. You think they had a Tier 3 good draft, which is a compliment. That's a compliment. Not everyone gets that. Nathan Baverman says Bengals. You got young, fast on defense, allows them to put money towards retaining offense. Think majority of the guys they got could have gone a little higher. My favorite pick was Jordan Battle. So Jordan Battle, a safety out of Alabama, was a third-round pick. Second-round pick, they took your guy, DJ Turner, who was your number 2 corner out of Michigan.
Sir. That's right.
And with their first pick, they took Miles Murphy out of Clemson, who you weren't super high on, but still a piece they needed.
Yeah, a piece they needed. They need more defensive linemen. A little bit defensive alignment for the future there. Miles Murphy, again, yes, he wasn't one of my top edge guys, but I clearly saw that he was an end of the first round type of choice there. But yeah, and also a guy, D-end, has enough strength on third downs or passing situations. He plays D-tackle too. So that's where I love that. Like, you're getting a guy that's going to play and be a good player right away. He's got a high floor. I never loved the ceiling, I think, with Miles Murphy. That was probably part of my reason of not having him as a top 5 guy. DJ Turner, come on. I mean, they're secondary. Him, Dax Hill, Cam Taylor-Britt. Cam Taylor-Britt was one of the fastest corners in last year's draft. Now you got the fastest corner in this draft to go along with Chidobe Awuzie is coming back. You still got Eli Apple there, Mike Hilton there, right? The safeties, and Jordan Battle's a good all-around free safety type and do that. So, that's where I love that. And then, Charlie Jones, good receiver to go along with it. Not special, but a good guy, that 4th, 5th type of receiver. But got Chase Brown, too. They needed a running back. Chase Brown can play and help them out right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the number 2 guy behind Joe Mixon come week 2 or 3 in the NFL.
And that was a very key part of the team last year, the number 2 guy behind Joe Mixon.
It was
Samaje Perine last year. Yeah, Chase Brown out of Illinois, Charlie Jones out of Purdue, that wide receiver. Had a big year for Purdue.
Yes, he did.
And Aiden O'Connell hooked up quite a bit.
Throwing the ball all over the place with Jeff Brom as the head coach.
How is it going to be with the Indianapolis Colts and Anthony Richardson? Who's his favorite target going to be? Oh, we just are speculating. You're hanging out with me too much, man. DJ Mo Stash says Colts! ! As the best team in the draft, or had a great draft. What have they lacked? Freaks with crazy upside at key positions, addressed that everyone, and hopefully I have the coaching staff to maximize their talents. I think I may have butchered his thing there too. I'm going down
You're
a
on
spiral
fire.
of.
You're on fire here.
I'm falling off a cliff here, so I'll have to stop talking.
You've had a long weekend.
It's been a long weekend. I was in Miami just literally 12
hours ago. Yes, I know. You were stuck in the airport, it sounded like.
It's like the airline thing. It's not getting any better.
You're
Like, what's happening? Although it was raining here in New York.
It was pouring
for the entire weekend.
For 48 hours straight, it rained here in New York.
I'll give
There's
the airlines
a new lake in my backyard. It wasn't there, but it's there now.
I'll give the airlines a pass on this one. All right, Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Colts, go.
I mean, the Colts was like, what are they going to do at quarterback, right? What was their vision? So that, okay, so now we know. And we know they're going to go the Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles type of offense here. I love that, sure. And to me, what I also love is Anthony Richardson with this team, that head coach and Shane Steichen. Yeah, they're going to be able to do things the right way around him. And as we said on the live podcast Thursday night, he has to play this second right now. And this is one team he can go in and they go, there you go. Here's OTAs. You're the starter. Just go. Quarterback power right, quarterback power left. Hey, max it up, throw a 70-yard bomb down the middle. Here's a screen, hand it to Jonathan Taylor. Quarterback power right, throw an 80-yard bomb. Here's a screen. That's all they got to do. So that's where I like it. And it's the perfect spot for him to grow. It's like we talked about with Trey Lance and the other years. Like this is the biggest issue with him is lack of reps. So to fix that is not by sitting him on the bench to get more lack of reps. We got to get him playing.
The cool thing about that is it makes the Indianapolis Colts one of the more boring teams to watch from last year.
Like kind of must see now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, no, I got to see this big freak. Micah Parsons playing quarterback with a shotgun for a right arm. Holy crap, we got to see this.
All right.
So
what about what else they did?
Yeah,
too?
Julius Brents, again, not one of my favorite corners here.
Kansas State.
This is where I always keep open mind. Again, this is Gus Bradley. He invented Seattle 3. The Julius Brents that's who he is. My pro comparison was Richard Sherman. He is a really long, tall, big strider type of corner. That's what they like there. That's what he likes as far as Gus Bradley. Josh Downs, they need a slot receiver. Now they got that. Downs is your jitterbug type to work the middle of the football field. Also that weapon type to go, to accompany the Anthony Richardson offense, speed sweeps, reverses, all that, right? Mm-hmm. So that works. Blake Freeland was one of my under-the-radar favorite tackles in the draft. He's a guy to me, it reminded me a lot of like Braden Smith, a tall, longer type of offensive tackle where you go, ooh, can he really, anchor down against power rushers? Yes, he can. And then they got one of the freaks of the combine.
What's his name?
Adetomiwa Adebawore.
Adetomiwa Adebawore.
All right, that was a good try by me.
I just copied Pete in my ear. Yeah, Pete's got it down.
No,
right now.
He does.
We'll just call Pete out of the back room, and whenever we have to talk about him. But yeah, the tackle,
guy.
the defensive tackle edge guy out of Northwestern.
Right, exactly, and he fits them. Right. Again, this is a team that we talked about. It's it's one gap. It's fly off the edge, or hey, we got you a D tackle this play. Just shoot through there, cross chaos. So he's perfect for that. Let alone, again, they had a lot of picks in the draft and can add to some depth on their football team. But those first 5 picks, I'm a big fan of what Chris Ballard and the Colts did.
Hal Bundy wants to give some love to the Raiders.
What up, Hal?
Bundy. Hal Bundy. Elite names today from the homies. Raiders only because they were so conservative that they won't have their usual bust. So I guess he thinks they got value.
He's hating on them while loving them at the same time.
Yeah, it was low ceiling, high floor guys, I guess, according to Hal Bundy. But they got a guy in Tyree Wilson with their first pick who fell more than I thought he was going to fall out of Texas Tech, who you love.
They wanted this. Trust me, this is the best. This is the top pass rusher on their board. Definitely. So this is amazing. If you read Peter King's Football Morning in America, their whole thing leading up to the draft was we want 3 quarterbacks to go off the board in the top 5, because then they knew one of the defensive players they wanted were going to be one of them was going to be on the board for them, right? So there they go.
Witherspoon, Carter, or Wilson,
and I think that's it. Yes, I think they didn't say the top 4, but I'm assuming that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So to get Tyree Wilson there, that's awesome. And again, I think he's high floor, high ceiling. I mean, this ain't Clelin Ferrell, okay, at Hal Bundy. This guy, like, can lead the NFL in sacks. You could have the best pass rushing duo in football with him and Max Crosby. Let alone it doesn't have to happen right now. He can learn from Chandler Jones. That's where it's great. Michael Mayer in the second round? I mean, again, this is where I like the draft. Like, Tyree Wilson comes in, he's going to be a difference maker for their football team. Michael Mayer is going to start at tight end right away from them. And then we know they know how to use a tight end there with Josh McDaniels coming from New England. And to make that move to get him, like we talked about a few minutes ago, those tight ends were going to start going on a run here.
Yeah, Laporta just went off the board.
Right,
the
so they knew they had to get up there because there were some teams there, I think, in the mid-30s and low 40s that they knew were going to take Michael Mayer. Byron Young, big D tackle in the middle, got some value as a rusher inside, can improve in some of the run game stuff, but he's an Alabama D tackle. He's big and he's athletic. So you get that. To get one of the faster corners in the draft than Jacorian Bennett, who I really liked, out of Maryland. I liked Aiden O'Connell as a good backup, prototypical pocket passing quarterback. And then one of my sneaky under-the-radar man crushes in Christopher Smith out of Georgia. Christopher Smith out of Georgia. Safety. A little bit crazy the way I like him.
Yep.
Comes downhill, flies, no regard for his body. Is he a free safety? Is a nickel? The only issue with the guy was like his top end speed wasn't like crazy good, right? But everything else was like, oh man, this guy is a hell of a football player. So I love that pick too, and that's where, you know, I give the Raiders a tier 3 grade.
Tier 3 grade for the Raiders, which is a compliment because your favorite team of all time, the New York Giants, also in tier 3.
Yes.
They are one of the teams that you think had a good draft, maybe not the best draft, and Phil Morin 3 chimes in with this. First 3 picks matched up with 3 of their biggest needs: corner, center, wide receiver, solid running back.
That's right.
With pass-catching ability in the 5th. 6th round, athletic DB with speed, hard hitter who can make an impact on special teams and or transition to safety. 7th round, defensive line with size and strength. Well done, Phil Morin. You don't need to talk about it at this point.
Way to go, Phil Morin.
But Deonte Banks, the corner out of Maryland, their first pick.
Yep.
And then the center out of Minnesota, John Michael Schmitz. And then a wide receiver you liked as well with their 3rd round pick, Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee.
Yeah, and a good running back in Aaron Gray in the 5th round.
Yeah.
So it was good all around. But yeah, I look at those top 3 again, and that's where you can tell I'm a little bit into the value of this draft a little. It's just because I go a little bit off of, you know, guys that can contribute right now too. Banks is really damn good. Like Banks, I'm going to say I'm one of those guys that have, like, you know, I didn't reorder any of my rankings really this year. I think I said this to you on Thursday night. If I had to reorder my DB rankings, the more I went on, you know, I probably would have put Banks in front of Christian Gonzalez. I liked him more than Gonzalez the more I kept going. And even when I read back my notes preparing for the draft, I was like, my notes read better that I like Deonte Banks better. He's an island, bring it on type of corner. Just what Wink Martindale wants, just like we talked about. So that's awesome. John Michael Schmitz was my favorite center in the draft. I think he starts with him right away. I mean, he's athletic, stout. He has everything. And then, you know, for a team that got some good receivers, we needed that somebody that could bring a wow or a big play. That's where Jalen Hyatt will come in. You know, you're worried about Darren Waller. You're worried about the run game with Saquon. You're worried about Daniel Jones and quarterback, read option and quarterback design runs. Oh, no, wait, we're all creeped up at the line of scrimmage. There goes Jalen Hyatt over the top on a 50-yard bomb, right? So they needed that element of their football team. That's where he's going to fit great. And then Eric Gray is really damn good. He's going to be a nice complement to Saquon Barkley. So, yeah, overall, I like the Giants draft.
Yeah, in that division with Philly, the Cowboys, and Washington, in case you forgot who's in the NFC East out there, have they done anything this offseason to put them ahead of Dallas? We know they're behind Philly.
I don't think they're there as far as in Dallas territory yet. Yeah, of course they're behind Philly. They've closed, I think, the gap a little bit between Dallas, but I still think as a total, I'd probably still give Dallas's roster the advantage there.
Yeah.
But, again, I think everything in New York with the Giants is going up and up and in the right direction.
Wasn't long ago that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were competing for Super Bowls with the GOAT and Tom Brady. Got a bunch of toothless guys on that roster, and so that's going to put them in Tier 3 on that alone.
I love it, right?
Lockdown Corner says for best draft, he goes Eagles for obvious reasons, but going to go with Bucs otherwise. Sneakily address positions they needed to retool and be ready to take that real leap the year after next. So the long-term plan for them, they got Kalijah Cansey, the Aaron Donald clone is what they're hoping for out of Pittsburgh. Their first-round pick, Cody Mock with their second-round pick, Yaya Diaby out of Louisville, who went to the combine, the edge guy, and just was
freak show.
Great testing numbers.
Exactly.
And so they got some interesting players at the top.
They did. They really did. You got, Payne Durham was a good blocking tight end in the 5th round. But yeah, the Kalijah Cansey, I love that pairing. And again, then they've kind of gone the route of like bigger people on the inside the last 2 years, right? Like last year it was Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks on the inside. This is where it was a little surprising to me that they went this route because I didn't know if the smaller, Tasmanian devil type would be their kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I think they probably looked like, hey, we need a guy that can then, like what you just said, can cause some disruption. Be Aaron Donald. We can't always just be like, oh, we're holding our line here and not letting you move us in the double team. So that's where I love it. And man, you put him with Vita Vea and Shaq Barrett and Tryon Shanko. That's a pretty damn good front four. Cody Mock is one of my favorite interior linemen. I think he's going to be a guard in the NFL, right? And then yes, his lack of front teeth with Jensen at center is going to be a sight to see there. Yaya Diaby is, again, that kind of guy you take in the 3rd round if you're going, wait, we need an outside linebacker, right? A lot of the good ones are off the board. Who's the one that we think can really become something? He's got some of the tools to go, oh, like a Shaq Barrett did. He got drafted in the mid-rounds. What? He's one of the better pass rushers in football? That's why you take a chance on Diaby, right? So, overall, I did like those first 3 picks. And even the Servakia Dennis, I don't know if I'm saying his first name, either way, athletic.
Servochea,
is that how you say it? I'm not
idea.
sure either. It's really small, almost like a safety. He's almost like Keanu O'Neal, and I think that's probably what they're going to use him as, like that big safety, small linebacker type of guy. Yeah. I could see them using him like that. But yeah, good job by the Bucs.
Servassier. Isn't that an alcohol?
Yeah.
Isn't that a drink?
Cavassier.
Oh, Cavassier. Ooh, what a great name.
That is. Servassier
Dennis out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Linebacker going to the Bucs. Does he have all his teeth?
I hope not.
Probably not.
We're
if he wants to fit in.
Yeah.
Locker room culture.
Yo, thanks for watching, homies. It's the off season, but there's no off season for us here at Unbuttoned. Me, Ahmed Fareed, we're going to hit all the stories. So hit subscribe for us, okay? We got a ton coming up. My draft prospect rankings, my Simms top 40 quarterback countdown, and videos of me and NFL QBs playing catch and talking about their development and mechanics. Again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. See you soon.